The US dollar is widely regarded as the world's leading currency. It plays a dominant role in global finance, trade, and investments. Most of the world's international transactions are conducted in dollars. Many countries peg their own currencies to the dollar, and it's also the most held currency in global reserves. However, when it comes to being the most expensive currency, the dollar actually isn't even close. Here's why. Hello and welcome back to our channel. If you enjoy financial thrillers, stay tuned for more. Let's start by answering the question posed in the title of this video. What is the most expensive currency in the world? The answer might surprise you because it's not the US dollar, as many might expect. Instead, the title of the most expensive currency in the world goes to the Kuwaiti Dinar. According to recent exchange rates, $1 US is equal to approximately 3.27 Kuwaiti dinars. To put this into perspective, if you were to convert 10,000 US dollars, you would receive a staggering 32,700 Kuwaiti dinars. Before we explore the reasons behind the high value of the Kuwaiti dinar, let us take a look at some other currencies that are also considered to be among the most expensive in the world. The second most expensive currency is the Bahraini Dinar, which has a fixed exchange rate of 1 BHD 3 United States dollars and 38 cents. Following closely is the Omani Rial with a value of 1 OMR 23 United States dollars and 75 cents. The Jordanian dinar and the Iraqi dinar also hold high ranks among the most expensive currencies. So why are these small Gulf states able to maintain such high values for their currencies? One major factor is the abundance of oil and gas reserves in the region. Kuwait, Bahrain, and Oman, along with other Gulf countries, have significant oil reserves that bring in substantial revenue. This means that these countries have more money flowing in than they need for domestic use, resulting in a higher value for their currencies. Now let's delve deeper into the case of Kuwait, the country with the most expensive currency in the world. Kuwait has the highest GDP per capita in the Middle East and is one of the wealthiest countries globally. Its vast oil reserves have contributed to an impressive economic growth rate, high standard of living, and low unemployment. The Kuwaiti dinar is pegged to a basket of currencies, primarily the US dollar, which helps maintain its stability and value. The Central Bank of Kuwait sets official exchange rates to ensure that the dinar remains strong and resilient against external economic shocks. Additionally, Kuwait has a sound banking system and strict regulations that contribute to investor confidence and the strength of its currency. While having the most expensive currency might seem advantageous, it also presents unique challenges for Kuwait. For example, the high value of the Kuwaiti dinar can make imports relatively expensive, potentially leading to higher consumer prices. Moreover, it can pose challenges for the country's export sector, making it less competitive in the global market. To mitigate these challenges, Kuwait has implemented policies to diversify its economy away from its reliance on oil and gas. The government has been investing in various sectors such as finance, insurance, real estate, and telecommunications to create new sources of revenue and employment opportunities. Kuwait has also been working to attract foreign investment and develop its non-oil exports to reduce its dependence on imports. Overall, Kuwait's economic future looks promising as it continues to implement reforms, invest in infrastructure, and diversify its economy. So you might be wondering how the dollar ended up being so much less valuable than the Kuwaiti dinar. Well, it's important to understand that currency values are determined by a variety of factors, including a country's economic strength, inflation rates, interest rates, and global demand. While the US dollar is widely used and has historically been considered a strong currency, a number of factors have contributed to its current value relative to the Kuwaiti dinar. One factor is the size of the US economy compared to that of Kuwait. The United States has a much larger economy than Kuwait, but it also has a significantly larger population. When comparing economies based on purchasing power parity, which takes into account differences in consumer prices between countries, the United States ranks as the largest economy in the world, followed by China, Japan, and then Kuwait. While the US economy is undoubtedly strong, the fact that it is spread out over a larger population means that the average person's income and purchasing power is lower in the United States compared to Kuwait. This is reflected in the value of the US dollar, which is lower than the Kuwaiti dinar, because the demand for dollars is spread out over a much larger population. Another factor that influences currency values is inflation. Inflation is a general increase in the prices of goods and services in an economy over time. When a country has high inflation, its currency becomes less valuable because it takes more money to buy the same things. On the other hand, low inflation can make a currency stronger. Kuwait has a relatively low inflation rate, which contributes to the strength of its currency. In contrast, the United States has experienced periods of higher inflation compared to Kuwait, which has led to a decrease in the value of the dollar. Interest rates also play a role in determining currency values. Higher interest rates can attract foreign investors looking for higher returns on their investments, which can increase the demand for a country's currency. Conversely, lower interest rates can make a currency less attractive to investors. Both Kuwait and the United States have relatively low interest rates compared to some other countries. However, interest rate differentials between the two countries do not fully explain the difference in their currency values. Finally, global demand and perceptions also influence currency values. During times of economic uncertainty or crisis, investors often seek out safe haven currencies such as the US dollar or the euro. This increased demand can strengthen these currencies relative to others. In contrast, during periods of stability and growth, other currencies may perform better. While the US dollar is generally considered to be a safe haven currency, the Kuwaiti dinar is seen as relatively stable and reliable as well. The demand for both currencies is influenced by global economic conditions, but the dollar tends to be more affected by broader geopolitical events and investor sentiment. In conclusion, the difference in currency values between the United States and Kuwait can be attributed to a combination of factors, including the size of their economies, inflation rates, interest rates, and global demand. It's important to note that currency values constantly fluctuate, and various economic indicators and events can impact their performance. While the US dollar may be the dominant global currency, the Kuwaiti dinar's high value reflects Kuwait's strong economy and financial stability. Ultimately, the relative value of any two currencies is determined by market forces and a multitude of factors. Let us now take a look at the top 10 most expensive currencies in the world based on their exchange rates against the US dollar. As mentioned earlier, the Kuwaiti dinar tops the list with a value of $3.27 per dinar. Next is the Bahraini Dinar with $3.38 per dinar. The Omani Rial comes third with $3.75 per rial. The Jordanian dinar is fourth with $3.99 per dinar, followed by the Iraqi dinar with $4.11 per dinar. The British pound ranks fifth with $1.27 per pound. Despite being a major global currency, the euro is relatively lower on the list with $1.10 per euro. The Swiss franc is seventh with 93 cents per franc. The Japanese yen comes eighth with 73 cents per yen. It's important to remember that exchange rates constantly fluctuate and these rankings can change over time. Nevertheless, these currencies are generally considered to be among the most expensive in the world, based on their current values. Now let's turn to the topic of the most valuable currency in the world. When it comes to the most valuable currency, the answer is somewhat subjective and depends on how you define value. If you're referring to the currency with the highest nominal value, then the Kuwaiti dinar takes the crown with a value of $3.27 per dinar. However, if you're considering the currency with the most purchasing power, then different currencies may rank higher. For example, the euro may have a lower nominal value compared to the Kuwaiti dinar, but it may have more purchasing power when it comes to goods and services within the eurozone. Similarly, the British pound or the Swiss franc may have higher purchasing power in their respective regions. Ultimately, determining the most valuable currency in the world is complex and depends on various factors such as exchange rates, inflation, and purchasing power. Each currency has its own strengths and weaknesses, and it's difficult to make an accurate comparison. We hope you found this video informative and enjoyable. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more engaging financial content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.